This is just a sample of the audiobook. To get the complete audiobook, access the link posted in the first comment.
I have in mind to sail alone to Hawaii on a 32-foot sloop. Sounds exciting, don't you think? What a yachting adventure, chasing the flying fish down the trade winds to the island paradise of Kauai. From Southern California, the Hawaiian Islands are 2,700 miles away, about the distance from New York to Los Angeles. It ought to take 3 weeks or so, maybe 4 weeks, coming back against the wind. If you're wondering why anybody in his right mind would want to set off alone, I know what you mean. I like people as much as anybody, and have certainly never been alone for long before. There won't be anybody to share the adventure with, and having nobody to talk to sounds like the definition of loneliness. On the other hand, it's a small boat with a cabin the size of a walk-in closet, and alone means not getting on anybody's nerves or endangering anybody but yourself, which has a noble sound to it in a sort of theoretical way. Don't you agree? Bear with me a minute here. Most of us are never alone. By alone, I mean no cell phone, no radio, no television, no police sirens in the distance, no ships in sight, no jets overhead. No chance of a knock on the door by an attractive UPS person in shorts. In other words, none of the usual signs that confirm the existence of other people alive on the planet. More alone, when you think about it, than a prisoner in solitary confinement, who at least gets to see his guards for an hour a day. More alone than jilted on Valentine's Day, when, no matter how abandoned you might feel, the phone still rings with all the wrong people. More alone than driving your motorcycle to the edge of the Sahara and turning off the headlamp to be stunned by the moonless, silent dark that falls like a blanket there. In that case, come to think of it, I was with somebody, and what she said after 5 minutes was, "Okay, can we get out of here now?" Nobody chooses to be alone for very long. They do say that by being alone, you might learn something about yourself you didn't know. But why would anybody want that? Most of us are trying to keep the lid on, not have the real you pop up suddenly in the mirror like a jack-in-the-box. For all I know, a long solo voyage may not be evening vespers in a wine country monastery. I'm not a monk, and I don't even know any. So, even though I've been preparing for this expedition for more than a year, I have no idea what it will be like to be alone. That's why I want you to come with me. You wouldn't be in any danger. I think I know what I'm doing on a boat by now. I've been sailing since I was a kid, and once added up more than 15,000 nautical miles out of sight of land, but in all that experience, there was only one long weekend single-handed, in which, because I couldn't convince anybody else to come along, I set off solo from Annapolis, Maryland, for St. Michael's, Maryland, 25 miles across the Chesapeake Bay. I left at night under spinnaker, and was run down from behind by a 50-knot thunderhead which knocked the boat flat on its side. The next day, it rained, and the day after that, it took 14 hours to sail home against a very light breeze and 100 degrees of humidity. I learned nothing at all about myself except not to fall asleep with the spinnaker up, and I was late for work on Monday morning. I do remember that there was nobody to talk to, and I would have liked it better if there were. Why have I always wanted to do this? Oh, I can tell you that. To sail a boat across water using only the wind is like a miracle every time. The wind is free, and it gives its gift not just to you, but to the waves and the sky the clouds, and the birds who all move with it day and night.